purchase your first guitar? Well, I've got a long list of suggestions for you, and it's something you do need to keep in mind. So stay tuned, hear the rest of the story. Hello, fellow YouTubers. If you clicked on my channel, obviously you're looking to buy your first guitar, and I congratulate you on that, because I think we need more musicians in the world, not somebody that's just using pre-programmed stuff, and being able to actually do the real work with a real instrument. So with that in mind, I'd like to talk to you a little bit before we even get started on that. Is there's two decisions you need to really make before you even get started, and they're going to shape how you move forward with your musical ability. One of those is the instrument. Very important. I don't know how many people I have talked to over the years. I've tried it, didn't like it, couldn't do well. Well, chances are they made the wrong first decision. That's the wrong guitar. A lot of parents will go out and buy their children a guitar and say, I'm going to buy you this $50 guitar, and when you learn to play it well, I'll buy you a nice one. Well, that's kind of counterproductive. And the reason it's counterproductive is if it hurts and you can't play it and nothing you play sounds right on it, guess what? You're not going to play it. And, you know, that's kind of the reason why you're looking for advice on buying a first guitar. The other thing you need to be aware of is time. If you're not willing to devote time to it, then you're not going to move forward. I always said that I would constitute certain times during the day where I went in and practiced. And that was, you know, hour increments or whatever. And then, because if you try to do it once a month, it's never going to happen. If you're not willing to, you know, 3 or 4 times a week, go spend an hour with it, then chances are you're not going to develop to your liking, and you're going to give it up. Guitar's going to sit in the closet. So those two things we need to keep in the forefront. Keeps it in your mind. Get an instrument you like. Spend the time with it. Play something you like, not something that you have to play. A lot of times, my case, Mom bought a book. It had Old Susanna and Red River Valley. Well, you know, to a kid growing up with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, the last thing we wanted to hear was Old Susanna. Just didn't work for us. So play something you like, spend the time on it, and buy a good guitar to start with. Guitar doesn't have to be a $4,000 guitar. There are a lot of guitars now that are made. They're in the lower 300, lower in a higher 200 range. They're great guitars, and I think that's what you know, you need to get a feel for that and find out what you like and learn to pick it up and play and spend that time with that instrument. Okay, the first instrument I'd like to go over with you is an acoustic electric, which is a way to go if all you want to do is play around the house, play, you know, by the campfire, that kind of thing. Most acoustic electrics, if you look at them, most of them have an onboard tuner, so you don't have to buy another purchase to get a tuner. So that's kind of saving you money, and you don't have to buy an amplifier, because these have loud enough sound where you can hear them real well without any amplification, unless you're playing in a band or something and you've got to have a little amplification, in which you can buy the amplifier. But now, these right here are, you know, they make some real nice ones in the $300 range, or some even less than that, that you can purchase. I'm not going to lead you in one direction or another as far as brand. I'm not going to lead you in a direction as far as whether you want acoustic, electric, or whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the differences between the two so that you can make up your own mind. What I would suggest first is when you go out, when you've made up your mind what kind of guitar you're looking for, that you go out and try a couple, feel them with your hand, see what they feel like. Does this feel comfortable in my hand? Does it feel comfortable in my body? You know, you get a great old big jumbo acoustic and get a small petite person, it's almost too burlesome to play. So sometimes the fit, how it fits on your lap and everything is very important. How it feels in your hands, how the neck feels, how thick the neck feels. Some people like a thicker neck, some people like a thinner neck, and those are things that you need to consider. This is also, if you can tell, it's what they call a single cutaway. It has one cutaway down here, which you either have a single cutaway on an acoustic or you have a dreadnought, what they call it. And the dreadnought has no cutaway, so the top looks exactly like the bottom. And but I don't have none of them to show you. But either one of them's fine, but the advantage of having the cutaway is that your hands can move farther down the neck as you progress with your playing style and stuff. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Also, what you want to play. Do you want to play country? Do you want to play rock? Do you want to play metal? Do you want to play a combination of those? Classical? What are you looking to play? That guitar has to fit what you're willing to play. You're not going to go out and get a shredder guitar for heavy metal if you're into classical. And you're not going to get a nylon string classical if you want to do metal or anything else like that. So it's very important that you keep that in mind. Now the Acoustic Electric does have its own pickups built in so that when you plug it in, it's able to be heard through the amplifier. Now you can get a regular acoustic without the electrics, but then if you ever decide to plug it in an amplifier, you've either got to mic the guitar or you have to have a onboard pickup that you put inside of it, which you can do as well. But what I'd recommend, like I said, even if I was just going to use it by the campfire, I'd get the Acoustic Electric so that if the need be where I plug it in or something, I could do it. It would also have the onboard tuner. Of course, a tuner, I wouldn't get too hung up on the tuner either, because you can get a tuner for your phone. It's free apps that you can download for your phone that makes a tuner. So don't be too alarmed or too needy with that purpose. So like I said, best thing to do is go out and grab a guitar and feel it and see what it feels. I'm going to go over each style of guitar so that you'll have a better knowledge of what there is available to you, so that you can make an informed decision, so you're not jumping out there blindly and just picking up an instrument. So with that in mind, like I said, you've heard the acoustic, you hear what it sounds like. Like I said, if you're just going to be playing by the campfire, picking it home, just to entertain yourself or your family, then Acoustic Electric is the way to go. So with that in mind, let's check out the next options. All right, I'm back. And these are the solid body guitars. That's what I'm going to show you next. It's going to be solid body electrics. If you look at this solid body electric, here's where it picks up its sound. It's these little things here that they call pickups. These are single coil pickups. If you see it's just one like shape of one finger, that means it's like a single coil pickup. Great. There's been thousands of songs wrote and played on this Fender Stratocaster type guitar. And it's a matter of taste, which one you like, and that's the other reason I'm bringing them all out and showing them to you. This one, I showed you the acoustic a while ago with a single cutaway. These are what they call double cutaway guitars. So you got the double cutaway. Really don't enhance you a whole lot with the double part. The only thing is, this is probably about the lightest weight solid body guitar you get is the Stratocaster style guitar. They're usually a little thinner than the others, and like I said, just lighter. It's usually made out of one piece ash, which is a light wood, which helps you a lot as far as weight. The other thing with the Stratocaster type is usually it's a bolt-on neck. Gibson people and people that like the glued-in neck find this to be a cheap way to build guitars, but it also is a cheap way to build guitars. So you'll be able to buy usually even a nicer Fender a whole lot cheaper than you can a Gibson with a set neck, because they're easier to do that. The other good thing about the Stratocaster is if if you ever wear the neck out or wear the frets out, or heaven forbid it fall off your guitar stand and break your neck off of it, you can still just unbolt this neck, bolt you another one back in, and you're back in business. Whereas if you get the one that's got the glued in neck, you break the headstock off of it, you're going to have to take it to a luthier or somebody that knows what they're doing to be able to install that neck for you. And it's going to be a major thing, going to be a major expense. Whereas the cost of replacing the neck on the bolt-in neck things are a whole lot cheaper, a whole lot easier. But like I said, the benefits of the other is that the glued-in neck, they say it sustains more and holds tune better. Like I said, talk to the Fender Stratocaster guys, they're going to say, nah, we like what we got. So it's a matter of personal taste. The thing with these single coils, they're a little bit noisy. You'll hear pick up a 60 cycle hum from the lights in a room at times, and sometimes that drives some purists crazy. But the single coils have a thinner bite. So if you're playing like in a band and you want to get out above the mix, usually the single coils usually tend to fly at a higher frequency. So that tends to give you more bite and allows you to sing above what's going on with the rest of the band. So that's a lot of the pluses to the Stratocaster. Like I said, it's either a loved or hated instrument, whichever way you want to look at it, and it's there's millions of them been sold, so it can't be a bad guitar. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. I'm going to play a little bit on it and let you hear what it sounds like, and then, like I said, I'll play through it through a rhythm pickup and through a lead pickup. And here's the lead pickup right now. We'll listen to what it Okay, now that's the lead pickup. You hear the more metallic bite. You won't hear that on the ones with the humbucker pickups. They don't have that kind of bite, and they don't sound that metallic. So, like I said, herein it's a matter of personal preference. But as you go forward, you're going to know more what style you like, by what style your favorite performers play through. So that being in effect, listen to songs. You can almost tell, I can, by listening to the music, which is whether it's a Strat or a humbucking guitar. And so you listen to it and see what you like, which sounds you want to get to. Listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, for example. His stuff is, real body, real metallic, and that'll tell you what that guitar will sound like. Now, if you like the humbucking, listen to a Santana song, and where it's got a little smoother, more mellow sound, as I call it. So, whatever you feel like you need to do to get the sound that you want to get. Like I said, if you got a acoustic and you're wanting to play heavy metal, there's going to be a time you're going to just say, give up because I can't get the sound I want. It ain't going to happen. So picking the right guitar for what type of music you want to play is very imperative. Now I'm going to play a little bit through the rhythm pickup. So you hear there's not, you hear a little bit of, taking a little bit of the bite away, but it's not a whole lot of difference. It's still a real body instrument. And like I said, a lot of times if you want to have, say, a humbucking pickup on one guitar player in the band and the other one's a Strat, so that you can differentiate the sound of the two guitars, is very good for the band's overall sound. The Strat also has, you've got a volume, two tone knobs, so you can adjust the tone on them. And it has a switch where you can adjust which one of these pickups you want to listen to, or a combination of the two. It is a 5-way switch on it where you can do this pickup and this pickup, or in the center, just this one, or here where it does this one, and then up here does the upper one, the neck pickup. So you have a lot of different sounds, and I'll play it in the middle position for you. And through the middle pickup, you're getting kind of the best of the both worlds. You're getting the high and the mid tones as well. So this is a Stratocaster single coil pickups. That's the thing you need to keep in mind. Doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a Fender Stratocaster. That means that if you want a single coil sound, you need to go out and find a guitar with a single coil. Okay, next up, it's going to be the double humbucker. Hey, I'm back. Hey, this is the what I call double humbugging, which you're a beginner, you don't understand it just yet. But you can see these pickups here. Each one of them, it looks like the single coil pickup, but there's two of them right together, and one of them is reverse wound. And by it being reverse wound, it cancels out the noise that's caused with the other one. That's why they call it a humbugging, because it don't develop the same hums as the single coils do. It also produces a warmer tone, and the tones are totally different. That's why, like I said, it's a matter of taste, what you want to hear, what kind of, the Les Paul, which is what this is, for years was the voice of rock and roll. I mean, yeah, you had Jimi Hendrix playing the Strat, but you also had Jimmy Page playing the Les Paul, and a lot of the ZZ Top. ZZ Top he'd play Les Paul once, and he'd play a Stratocaster later. Back in them days, there wasn't a whole lot of electrics to choose from. Now you get out in the modern world now, Gibson and Fender doesn't have a hold on the world anymore. There are thousands of guitars to choose from. But, like I said, the thing to keep in mind is the pickup selection, what kind of sound you're after, and also playability. If that guitar doesn't feel right to you and you can't mash the strings down with both hands, you need another guitar. That's just not gonna work. So when you go out and buy this guitar, try to get it, your first one, locally, somewhere where you can touch and talk to that owner of that store or that guitar repairman in the store and get that guitar set up. A lot of guitars, you especially, you get in the lower ranges, they don't come pre-set up in the store, so you've either got to do that yourself or have it done. You buy the higher dollar ones, yeah, they'll come set up. But the lower dollar ones, generally you got to ask that guitar store owner, if he will have your guitar set up. And preferably with real light gauge string, especially since you're just starting out. You want to be able to mash those strings and get a good clean tone. Well, if you're playing with real heavy strings and they're an inch off of the neck, you're not going to get any kind of tone. It's going to work you to death. Your finger's going to get sore and tired, and you're not going to like that, and you're going to give it up. So what I want to do is I want to get you started playing music, started enjoying your guitars and that kind of thing. So here again, this is the double humbugging, and this is a Les Paul. Whole lot heavier guitar than the Stratocaster, almost double what the Stratocaster weighs. A little bit thicker, and like I said before, this one has the glued-on neck. You don't have any bolts going through it to hold it on. Neck's adjustable as far as how much tension got on it, but there's no other things you can do as far as replacing the neck unless you take it to somebody that really knows what you're doing. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you a little bit what this sounds like. And so you can see it's got a little bit thicker sound to it. And here it is on the rhythm pickup. telling you, the difference is where it's noticeable. And like I said, especially when you're starting out and you're expecting to hear melatones and you're hearing bites, and maybe you chose the wrong guitar. So now the solid body electrics, all of them pretty well have to have amplification. If you don't have amplification, it's going to sound something like this. Okay, more something like this. You can hear it, you can play it without the amplifier. So you really don't need an amplifier if you decide to get you a solid body, but they make them in all different sizes and styles. You can even get one that's just for headphones. So you can plug it in, plug your headphones in. Nobody in the house has to know how good you're getting to it. You can pull it off. So with that in mind, go ahead and get your guitar. But now, like I said, this is a difference in sound. Like I said, the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you got that guitar that fits your style, what you want, fits your body. If that guitar is too big and you're having to lumber around it, you don't want that. If the strings are too high and you can't mash them down, you don't want that. So keep that in mind. And I've got one more option, maybe two more options to show you. And if you have any answers or any questions or any remarks, you can go down below and put in your comments. I'll answer them whether they're good or they're bad. And I know I talk like a hillbilly, my voice is gone. Years of rock and roll will do that to you. So keep me in mind and make your remarks below. Check the like button if you like it. Please do. Hopefully it's informative to you. And I'm gonna have more videos on subjects just like this, like the parts of the guitar will be probably my next one, and then we will cover some basic chords and move on that direction. I'm also going to cover pedals and that kind of thing, which as you're beginning, you're not going to know what pedal does what, and you're going to need a little bit of education as far as that. So stay tuned to me, like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another guitar. As promised, fellas, I brought you another one. This one here, you'll notice it's got pickup covers on it. But when you see them with this width, the pickup cover on it, it's usually a double humbugging. So this is going to have the same benefits as the Les Paul. This is a cheaper guitar. It's an Ibanez, but it's a great playing guitar. The other difference between this one and the other ones is this is not a solid body electric. You see the holes in the body, a whole lot of difference in weight. And gives you a little bit of a different sound. If you're into blues or jazz, this is more the guitar for you. It's going to have more of the, even more mellow sound than the others. So let me give you a little sound on it. Now that's in the rhythm position. And like I said, that's going to give you a little bit more of a deeper, bassy sound. And in the treble position, you're going to get your more high-pitched sounds and that kind of thing. So that's the difference in sound. So if you're wanting to play in a church, for example, or play in a blues band or a jazz band, look at more going into the SemiHollow body. It's going to give you a little bit more of a mellow sound. This one too is a double cutaway. They make the SemiHollow bodies in all the styles. They can be a single cutaway, a double cutaway, or just a standard full body style. But like I said, you typically want at least the single cutaway so that you can get your hand, get used to the whole neck. Like I said, that's something that you're not going to use right off the bat, but you want to have that available to you when you get ready to get into it. This one also has the glued in neck. So And like I said, this is a fifth of the cost of the Les Paul, and nice finish and that kind of thing. So you don't have to go out and spend an arm and leg on it, but do take your time, be diligent. Don't buy the first guitar you fall in love with unless you can play it and it feels good to you, and you can mash some strings down. And don't just mash them down and say be done with it. Sit there with that guitar and just mash those strings down, move up and down the neck on it as you get harder as it goes up or whatever. Get used to the feel of how that guitar feels in your hand. Everything's gonna feel good for 3 seconds, but like I said, keep it in your hand for about 5 minutes. Sit there and play with it. Make sure the gap in between your hands feels good, that you can flatten your fingers out all the way on that neck and feel good with it like that. And make sure that you can take one note, get a good clean ring out of it, all the way down. Do it like that. Check it out real good. Make sure that it plays good. And like I said, if you've got a friend or if you find somebody in a music store that you can actually trust that knows what they're doing, have them go over it with you and tell them that you're new. You need all the input you can get. But hopefully by listening to this video, you're looking at the different types of guitars and know what you want pretty well when you go in the store. Like I said, doesn't have to be the high dollar guitar. There's enough in the lower ranges, but beware because there's a lot of junk in the lower ranges as well. And that means even the ones that you see advertised on TV that the celebrities are encouraging you to buy. Take your time, go out. Like I said, your first purchase, like say you go out to a store where you can touch it and feel it, then you're going to learn the names of the guitars, how each one of them feels to you. You're going to know what you're wanting as your guitar decision. So keep that in mind. And let me show you one more guitar. Hello YouTubers, I'm back again. This time I'm bringing you a semi-hollow body again, double humbuggings, 2 double humbugging, and double cutaway. Only difference with this one, this is a 12 string. Not a lot of difference between 12 strings, 6 string, 106 strings, but the playability and getting it in tune is sometimes what causes more issues with the beginner. So the 12 string is basically just duplicate strings all the way up, except for one of them is tuned a little bit higher so that they give you a ringing quality. They're both the same note, it's just a little bit higher. But it does give you a harp-like quality, and it's got a good sound. But it is a desired sound that, say you want to do Hotel California or some Glenn Campbell songs. Glenn used 12 string exclusively. But you know, you get back into the Byrds and that kind of thing, they use 12 string. But basically, 12 string is going to be something that is an acquired taste, acquired feel. Don't recommend it for a beginner, mainly because of the trouble getting in tune and having to concentrate on mashing 2 strings down where you would mash down one prior to that. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you a little bit of sound test on this, let you make up your own mind, and we'll go from there. There you go. So that gives you the sound of that. So now it's up to you. Like I said, set your time up to practice. Set your time up to play, and try to learn something new 2 or 3 times a week so that you're not doing the same 3 chords every day in the same style with the same rhythm. Set that time aside. Make sure that you do that because you can't go in there and play it once a month and expect it to sound great. You're never going to get there. You need to, like I said, condition your fingers and your muscle memory. Your muscle memory, your fingers, how they move. man's not designed for his fingers to move individually, so they're more designed for gripping and that kind of thing. So your fingers are not designed for that. So this is what gives you, your finger dexterity is using them fingers, working on scales, doing little things like that, and spending the time getting that done. That being said, when you go out and buy this guitar, have them set it up in the store, have them set it up with light gauge strings. I know it's kind of the wimpy way out, but you're not going to play it if you can't stand it, if it hurts your fingers too bad. But stick with it. Lighter gauge strings, have your strings closer to the fretboard where there's not a whole lot of strength needed to push them down, and get the hang of it. Then as you progress, then you can go to thicker gauge strings if you desire. Some people just never get out of the thin strings. I will also tell you that, in my opinion, the solid body electrics and semi-hollow bodies do play better for some reason. They don't have the strings, doesn't require as much pressure as the acoustic, because you gotta have those acoustic strings in such a fashion that they give you enough amplification so that you can play it without amplification. So with that in mind, like I said, go out and purchase that first guitar. Leave your comments down below what you got and how you like it. And we're going to go forward with new videos once a week and let you know, things you need to know to move your art forward. Looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you play it on stage one day. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.